The new Prius is here, and it got cool. I'm Al Alder, and today we are out in traffic in the 2024 Toyota Prius. This is what this car was built for, and man, it is such an exciting improvement over the cars that predate it. The Prius has been with us for some 2 decades, and despite its tremendous importance in bringing hybrid tech to the mainstream, it's been the butt of a lot of jokes. And in fairness, it earned it. This thing has long been a little dopey, a little ungainly, a lunchbox. It's just been a punching bag of a car. But no longer. This isn't your hippie neighbor's car full of hair trimmings and avocado pits anymore. No, the 23-24 Prius got neat. Now, before we get going, you should know that there are 2 primary flavors of Prii, if you will. There's the standard Prius, the typical straight gas hybrid. That's a car that you just fill up, you drive around, and it passively, quietly, silently generates and uses electricity. This, however, is the Prius Prime, a plug-in hybrid, which, fully charged, will give you up to 72 kilometers of all-electric range before the gasoline motor starts having to generate anything at all. That's tremendous news because it means that even in the worst case, you still get really excellent fuel economy. In the best case though, you use none at all. I am still reading a full tank. I've been driving this thing around all week. I've been commuting all over the place. I have used the battery full through and we're still packed up. This is excellent. So what is the new Prius? What makes it special? Why is it cool now? And what exactly do I mean when I say that the Prius isn't just the Prius anymore? The 2024 Prius is really the backbone, the archetype for Toyota's modern hybrid strategy. The brand has been famously quiet and really rather slow on straight up EV development. They put out the BZ4X, which, and really Toyota has banked on a strategy that has expected that we're gonna smarten up and come around, that we're gonna realize that the cost and resource intensive creation of massive batteries for full electrics isn't actually as green as we've led ourselves to think. Conversely then, the thinking goes that running a smaller battery with capacity just for the average commute will get rid of all your gas consumption and therefore emissions, and still be there and ready to take you along for the longer hauls. That's a good call, and by Toyota's numbers, they figure that this strategy has reduced their overall emissions in such a way that they may as well have sold 30% of their fleet as outright zero emissions vehicles. And here in the Prius and Prius Prime models, that means that if you are burning any gas at all, that's only gonna be a figure in the 4s. Run the Prime here and those figures get a little better. We're looking at 4.4 liters city, 4.6 liters highway, 4.5 liters combined. That is awesome. But that's not something that's limited to the Prius anymore. You see, the whole lineup has benefited now from this strategy. And this really exciting news here. I know it seems preposterous to be pumped up for a Prius, but guys, it's good. And you see, the thing is that it isn't just the economy and all that anymore. It's also just a good car. It's certainly not ugly anymore as it was even just back in 2022, but it now just, I think, looks respectable as a commuter appliance. It's got a slightly futuristic look. This is a mark of what's to come from Toyota. It does the job. It's nice, it's clean. This red paint has a beautiful metallic depth to it. It's just a good looking package. It's comfortable as well and should be accessible to a wide variety of body types. These front seats are broad with a bit of gentle bolstering, but nothing that actually clamps you in too tightly. The back seats too are actually refreshingly welcoming for a Toyota. I've complained a lot in the past about Toyota's back seats feeling like they were made of wood, as though they're simply meant to survive car seat abuse and punish anyone who's older than an infant. Here though, they're fine. If anything, the real compromise is that aerodynamic styling, because headroom up front, but especially out back, have been crunched in a little bit, and taller passengers will be making the most of that little scalloped cutout above their heads. With this very steep and large windscreen and really lengthy quarter windows up there the front as well, it opens the whole thing up significantly. Up top, we've got a fixed glass roof, which doesn't open, it just simply opens up the feeling, the atmosphere of the cabin. The high beltline and beefy rearmost pillars do contribute though to a very great strength, which is physical here in the Prius. This thing, tested in 2023 with the introduction of its new generation, took the US IIHS Top Safety Plus pick. More importantly, we've really got the latest and greatest in all of Toyota's safety assistance technology. With a smattering of buttons here on the steering wheel, which may seem a little bit daunting at first, but actually prove themselves very intuitive and accessible, and I must note, refreshing, because man am I tired of infotainment screen buttons and selections. This thing lets you access everything right at your thumbs. Unique too is the way Toyota has set up the cluster on this. They've left it unhooded and moved it really far forward. It's a really neat effect because not only does it feel a little bit fighter jet in the way it whooshes forth, but it keeps all of those readouts right there in the bottom of your peripheral vision when you're just driving. I don't find myself wishing for or feeling the need for a HUD in this car. It's all just right there. And notably too, it's in a display where the blacks actually stay blacks. You don't have black pixels still emitting bright light that sort of blind you in the night. No, where it's dark, and you get this seamless effect as it fades into the bezels. It's really nicely done. It's a very thoughtful cabin. In center too, we've got Toyota's new infotainment system. That is a very slick setup. I think currently the industry leader. It's tidy, it's effective. You get standard wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. Navigation is slick, but it must be noted, is a paid service. And if you don't keep that subscription up, every time you start the car, it's going to default to a screen asking you to subscribe to a core feature in your car. And that is insulting. Get stuffed on that one, Toyota. In this here top trim, it must be noted that there is also a wireless charger down here on the side. It is a nice little slot. It keeps your phone very secure, but I've tested it with a couple phones, both Apple and Android, and it doesn't seem to cooperate with cases. Every phone I've had to remove from a case to actually get it to start charging. That is frustrating and really makes it kind of pointless for the everyday use. I just don't use it. Driving assistance here in the new generation Prius and Prius Prime is really slick. Toyota calls it its Toyota Safety Sense 3, and it comes with some bits that you'd expect and some that you may not, but that you'll definitely come to appreciate. Of course, we've got the basics, which, now standard in fact, include adaptive cruise control. We've also got a really great lane tracing, lane keep assist, which makes highway driving really easy. Higher trims get a traffic jam assistant, which takes care of your slow-moving stop and go and simply follows the car in front of you. It really takes a lot out of the driver fatigue on the regular commute. And while those assistance systems can really take care of a lot of the driving effort for you, you still have to stay tuned in. The eye tracker down here will scold you if you look away for more than about 5 seconds, so you do have to stay with it. The system doesn't bug you about having hands on the wheel when they so obviously are. It actually reads things correctly there. The Prius pays very active attention to your surroundings, and if you're pulling up toward a vehicle or if the vehicle ahead of you is slowing, the car will just very gently and seemingly just using its regeneration slow you down a little bit just for a smooth, elastic transition. These aren't cheap cars, but they aren't expensive either. And as I've said, this has trickled down across the rest of the Toyota lineup. If you want very similar efficiency and to enjoy really the trickle down of this development, you can take that Corolla Hybrid home from the low to mid 20s. That is an affordable car. Yes, the interior is a little bit Rubbermaid, but like Rubbermaid, it also feels pretty solid and dependable. Yes, the hybrid system seems intuitively more complex and like it may end up costing you more to maintain, but experience has shown us that that simply isn't really the case. These things are really attractive buys, and now that the Prius has had this sexy little glow up, I'm really excited to see more people flock to them because this car has earned its keep. It's earned its praise. It's not just Canadian Car of the Year. This thing has mopped up in the awards, and so deservedly so. I'm really excited on this new thing. And I just want to say again, I'm really excited for a Prius. Guys, what's going on? For Driving.ca, I'm Al Alder. For more hybrid news, reviews, previews, tests, checks, all the rest, be sure to follow us online on Driving.ca and check out our socials over on Instagram and Twitter.